Hey Sweetiefam, welcome back to my channel. I am Forever Patra Denise, produced by Zenny Productions. This here is my sweet tea. Hey, just because it's tea does not mean it's gossip. Hey, y'all heard me throwing an extra 80. Yeah, I'm pumped up. The month of February has been interesting, or should I say was interesting, because now we're in the month of March, okay? And I had some low lows and some high highs. I ain't even gonna front with y'all. And when I decided to do YouTube, I always want to be authentic in it. So that's why I'm telling you this, okay? But I'm still back in the swing of things. I'm still doing good. I'm still growing and moving and just, as TT would say, okay? Well, TT said bring it down, but I'm bringing it up, okay? Taking it to the next level. But as me and my husband, who is pretty much like my creative director of Zenny Productions, specifically for Forever Patra Denise, we began to talk about just kind of where we wanted, my channel to go. There's some things that I could do that was trendy, but still, relevant to my content. So my thing is I don't want to do trendy things, but that's not relevant to my content because then there's no connection. Y'all feel me there? So he was like, well, one thing, you should do a mom Chronicles things. And if you did not know, I am previously named Mom-Chronicles 2.0. Okay. And the reason I gave myself that name, because originally my content was going to be geared towards being a mom. But in real life, my kids don't even like to be on camera. They do not like to be on camera. They don't like to show their personality to a camera, and I'm not into forcing them. So I needed to gear my YouTube channel, my brand towards myself. And then, here and there add them in. But this series that I'm about to start for the month of March, okay, there will be, I think it's 4 to 5 videos for my series, and it is called Mom Chronicles, okay? And my first video, as you saw the title, it is single mom. And if you have not watched my baby mama story, all of the videos will be linked in the description below. Go and watch those videos. Those are some good tea being spilt videos, okay? And that's on period. So first and foremost, I want to talk about being a single mother, okay? So pretty much this series is going to talk about the different stages of being a mom for myself, all the way up to me being now 35 years old. All right. So this is my single mom a part of the Mom Chronicles series. And first thing I have is, how long was I a mom? Yesterday I got my agenda here that I wrote out all my questions because baby girl organized, okay? But the first question is, how long was I a single mom? I was a single mom for, it's like 3 years, but it's not 3 years. So I was a single mom from 2006. Well, I don't know if you count the pregnancy, but definitely. So from 2005, from July 2005, that's when I found out I was pregnant, to March of 2009, so 2009. Okay, so that is technically almost 4 years now of my child's life where he was like alive. It looked like 3 years, but it's not 3 years. So I met my husband at the beginning, technically in February of 2009. I was gonna say 2019 of 2009, and we started dating, officially March of 2009, and then my son turned 3 the end of March 30th, 2009. So, the dates are really, really close when it comes to when we started talking to when we actually made it official to then when my son's birthday. So we could just round off to 3 years because it literally was just days, like 20 days or something like that, 25 days, something like that of when we started dating and things like that. So I was a single mom for about 4 years, about 4 years total. Being a single mom is something I think about all the time. And I can't say there was a whole bunch of positivity. So I'm going to go into that later, but I did want to throw that out there. So one of the struggles of being a single mom is everything starts and ends with you. Wake ups, going to bed, sick days, school stuff, doctor stuff. When the child is having a bad day, child is having a great day. Birthdays, holidays, when you're not feeling well, when you're excited, like when you have other things to do as well as being like, all of it starts and begins with you. And as a single parent, that's a lot of weight on your shoulders. And I only did it with one. So I know there's plenty of people that have 4 and 5 and 6 kids. You know, they're the only parent that those children have. And my hat literally, you know, tips off to them because I struggle with a toddler, you know, or just a newborn to infant stage to toddler stage as a single mom. So, you know, I don't know what it's like to have a big kid, which is like ages, 3 to 5, that's still toddler, but then 5 to like 7 or 8 or 9, you know, and then preteen and I don't know what that's like. But the time that I had as a single mom, you know, it started in with me every day, all day. And that was exhausting. That's the other struggle, is it's exhausting. Like you really don't get you really don't sleep because your mind is always going. Your mind is always running and racing because you're like, okay, well, I got to do this. I got to take care of that. Like you're always going. So, you know, with this starting and ending with you, with everything, for everything, regarding everything, you're exhausted to the core. And that leads to my third thing, is you never normally get a break unless you have a really, really good support system. And so when I had TJ, I did have a really good support system. My sister cousins, shout out to them. And I've told them this a million times. I appreciate the love and support that they've shown TJ, and how they used to take care of him. And we used to swap, you know, I obviously would have him at night, and then one sister cousin have for a few hours, swap it to the next sister cousin, you know, until I got off work, because I would work 10 to 12 hour shifts. And, you know, they just loved on my baby, took care of my baby, and I couldn't have done it in the beginning stages without them. You know what I mean? So that's the struggle. That's definitely a struggle. It begins and ends with you, right? You're exhausted, and normally you don't get a break unless you have like a really, really, really good support system. And like I said, I have my sister cousins. I also have my baby mother, who is one of my best friends, been my best friend for over 17 years. She had a son. She was a single mother as well, but she had a lot of support family-wise. Like, she had a lot of support. Her mom, dad, sisters, things like that. So she would help me because they would help her. And they knew my situation, and they would help me. And even when I go home now, they still love on me and pour into me. And they like, you know, I can't believe, like, y'all really did it. Because now our boy's about to be 15. So her son's birthday was February. So he's already 15. And then TJ's turning 15 at the end of this month. So it was exhausting. I'm not going to act like it wasn't. Like, it was exhausting. Like, I can't really remember getting a good night's rest the entire time I was a single mom. Now, my mom was not around in the beginning because she lived in a different state. Until my son was about 11 months old is when she, you know, she moved back to the Midwest because she was living in the South. And then she helped a lot. So then I was, you know, she would get Terrell for, you know, 2-3 nights. You know, go on here, do, you know, I know you're working, yada, yada. She would help me a lot as the time went on. And she has continued to help me with all my children. She's very, very, very present with my children. And now she lives back in the South, where she lived there before we moved there. And she, you know, she comes every so often, you know, to be with the kids, because she's very present in their lives. So, you know, there's definitely times where there were times where it was just me and him. You know, he had asthma, so we had to go to the doctor or go to the emergency room, and then I would have to get up and go to work. And it was just, when I say the pressures of a single mom, is almost like peer pressure to an extent, like the pressure of it, not the scenario of why you would fall into peer pressure, but the pressures. It's a lot of pressure. You got to keep your head above water, plus keep these kids a head above water. It was a lot of pressure. And I don't never want to have that experience again. It was very, it's a hurt, not a hurt. I'm not going to say hurt. It's a feeling that I never want to experience again. I'm just going to be honest with you. And when me and my husband get into our, you know, tit for tat, because we're married and we disagree, and our disagreements may get loud, you know, I think about that. I'm not gonna. I think about that, and I'm not saying that I allow things to happen just because I don't want to be a single mother. But that does play a part into, okay, is this issue is really as big as it needs to be? Because I've been a single mama before. So let's, if we do decide to go our separate ways, I'm gonna be a single mama again. Is this situation that important? Now, there's some situations I'll be like, okay, Paige, you doing the most. In the other situation, okay, we're gonna handle this. We're gonna work this out. We're gonna nip this in the bud, and then we're gonna move. We're gonna move forward. So I don't never want to be in that predicament again. Shout out to all the single mothers, that watches my content, that's going to watch my content, because there's a lot of single mothers turned wives, a lot of single mothers, still single mothers. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. I remember just kind of doing it effortlessly. Effortlessly. Sorry, I chopped that up. And I just don't ever want to be in that predicament again. Right? Being a mom is hard in general. Let me say that right here. Being a mom is hard in general. But being a single mom, you walk around with that S on your chest, and that's on period. You do stuff you never thought you would be able to do. And that's just for real. Now, my last thing about being a single mom is if there were any pros about being a single mom, and I'm going to be like, the only pro that I had about me being a single mom is I didn't have to confide with somebody else about what needed to be done. I didn't have nobody's schedule. If somebody else had to be so if my son had to go to the doctor, okay, if they say, oh, his next doctor's appointment is April 3rd, fine, April 3rd. I didn't have to say, okay, let me see what my husband's schedule is, or let me see what we got going on. No, I just could just go and do as I please with my child. I didn't have to converse with anybody about what needed to happen with my child. It was just me. So I had the first say so and the last say so and all the say so. So that was probably the only pro, but I wouldn't want that over being, I wouldn't make that like a deal breaker over actually being a single mom, being in the thick of being a single mom. And comment down below if what was your biggest struggle about being a single mom. As I told you, my biggest thing about being a single mom is just it never stopped. I never could catch my breath. So that included, it started with me, it ended with me. The exhaustion and never, catching a break. So that was it. That to me, that was what it was. That's the makeup of being a single mom. Sometimes people don't have a choice with being a single parent because their spouse has passed away. You can understand that. But in my situation, I didn't have to be a single mom, and I put up with a lot, so I wouldn't have to be a single mom and still end up being a single mom. Right? Crazy. So if you are not a part of Sweetie Fam, go right down into that subscribe button. Click the bell so you can be notified, because I'll be dropping videos. All right. In the comments, put the emoji that's like this. Whatever shade you are, put that emoji that's like this, because single mamas rock. Shout out to every single mama that watches my video, that's on social media, that is a YouTuber, y'all. Shout out to y'all. Keep doing y'all thing. I love y'all, and my hat goes off to y'all. Y'all, I'm Forever Patra Denise, and y'all be sweet.